I spent £46,000 on this BMW M5 with the hopes to be able to rebuild it and give it to my dad. And in this video, I'm determined to get this car started and try and drive it for the first time. But not only have we got to get this car repaired, we've also got to tackle the dreaded hybrid system.
Who best to disconnect it first?
In the last video, we found some not so pleasant surprises.
Oh dear. Oh no.
And we've got a huge list of jobs that we need to get on with to be able to get this car back on the road. And the first one of those problems is this. If I was to drive this BMW as it is, the engine would fall out of the car, which would be catastrophic. The engine mounts, as you can see, have completely failed and go straight in the bin. And these new ones can go straight in. But that is just one thing from a long list of problems that this M5 needs solving. Now, that subframe needed to come off anyway because it's got some minor damage and it needs to be replaced to make sure it's spot on. So I've gone and picked up this second-hand one, which luckily I was able to find, and it was a lot cheaper than from the main dealer. So now I've got the engine mounts on. We're going to look at getting this up in place, but first we're going to have a quick check over, a quick clean up, and make sure everything's all right on the car. We've got the old subframe off and the new engine mounts on. Now, before we can start putting this car back together, we want to give it a good check over to make sure that we haven't missed anything. Exactly like this. I think I'm starting to see why the insurance didn't want to repair this. This is going to be expensive. And that list as well is going to be getting a lot longer. Let me show you our problems. Let's start from the top, then we're going to work our way down. First thing, oil cooler pipe. I'll start off first saying the bolt looks okay. It actually just looks like this pipe is twisted where I think these two connect. So these are going to need replacing. Secondly, they've got to come out anyway because we have a hole in kind of upper sump section, which is going to be a lot of fun. And that is nasty. That is not what you want to see. And I've got to hope that everything inside the engine is still okay. Thirdly, that means taking off the lower sump and replacing all of these bolts. And the fourth, fairly minor but still got to be done, is this oil filter housing. Just the lower bit I'm hoping, but the upper bit comes with the upper sump, so that's all going to get changed for new anyway. It's going great.
So the lower sump is April, yeah, upper part. That's Germany, so that'd be 3 to 4 days. Not cheap, buddy. You're looking at retail £1,380 plus of that.
Alright, thank you, mate. It's not great, is it?
It's not ideal, is it?
No. Wow. This is not how things were meant to go, but it's how they've gone. So let's make lemonade out of lemons and just do some work.
So I can add those parts to our ever-growing list, but let's not get too saddened by it. We just need to get the job done. So let's get started with taking off all of this stuff. We can only hope there's nothing more that needs to go on this list.
Well, there's no point crying over spilt milk. There is absolutely nothing we can do about it. So let's get what's left of the oil drained out of it. Get this thing stripped down.
Once you've done it, I'll get it all on order for you.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Okay, speak to you later.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. I didn't realise Shmi worked in parts at BMW.
So we can get on with stripping all of these broken parts off, ready for when the new ones show up.
Dry as a bone, because it's all come out the bottom.
We've got to drain and remove the diff because this passes through the upper sump, and it didn't smell great.
What, like you? Hang on.
With all the fluids now drained, I can start to remove the bolts for that plastic lower sump. Once this is removed, that's going to give us access for all of the bolts for the upper sump, which is where the damage is.
There you go. Bring it down. Ooh. Ooh.
I mean, let's do someone.
Oh yes. Okay, that's not so bad.
No, there ain't like.
They're the bits that were broken already. Okay. I really panicked then.
The chunks that had came out of the upper sump had fell into that plastic pan as I was removing it. I nearly crapped myself. Now to remove that front diff, so we've got to pop out what's left of the drive shaft and then work out how to do the driver's side.
Right, we've got to get this drive shaft out here, which is a bit awkward because we still haven't got the tools to get this wheel off, so we're going to go and do something a bit rogue, but I mean, as far as these jobs go,
That was a very good idea, you had.
This is the biggest Allen key we've got. Please work. It's too big!
Yes.
That's good news.
But even with the biggest gun we've got, it wouldn't remove the bolt for the drive shaft.
This ain't gonna work. Mickey reckons he can hold onto the wheel whilst I try and turn this nut. If you hang on to that, mate, I will literally take my sock off now, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and eat it with a knife and fork. Felt like it was moving.
It did, yeah. I think they put all that thread lock stuff on them, didn't they?
Oh no.
Give us your sock here.
Oh dear. That's degrading.
I regret my decision.
Yeah. I'll have that pleasure.
Then it is served.
Oh, it stinks. Oh, it's literally burnt.
Oh no.
I can't believe you burnt my dinner. Now what we need to do, take that bolt out, then we can take the drive shaft out of the hull, and then the drive shaft out of the stump.
It's making me want to gag.
Do you want a bit?
And now we can get the longer drive shaft pulled all the way through that lower sump and removed from the car. So we can continue stripping everything else down and starting to remove that upper sump. This is just bolted to the engine from the underneath, but we have got to remove the oil pump in order to get it off.
Off the chain, like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm spilling. You ready?
I'm ready. Oh,
I'm holding this in the most awkward way. Do you mind taking it off me? Thank you.
it's not even heavy, mate.
No.
What's wrong with you?
So it's just like this.
The lightest thing on the car.
And then,
Bad day.
well, my idea was right.
Yeah. Very right.
Whoopsie.
And bits.
Okay. You just stop it a little bit.
Oh,
There you go.
nice. Over. That's it.
Oh, thank God for that.
Wow. Look, them two little buggers there.
Yeah. That was
Intense.
lovely. One upper sump off an M5. Are we the first people to do this job?
Possibly.
World's first. You saw it on the Chris Slicks channel first. If that's not a reason to subscribe, I don't know what it is.
So everything is now stripped down, ready to be built back up with new parts. But we've got to wait for these to come in, so we'll have to come back to it later on in the video.
There we go. One sump with a gaping hole in it removed. Possibly the first G90 M5 sump ever removed. I'll say so anyway. But you guys might think all we do all the time is work on cars. But in fact, there's so much more. We have spent 12 months working on the perfect merch range, and it is finally landed. Our main goals were to create a range with the best fit and quality, with subtle motorsport inspiration for designs. Stock and sizes are limited, so get yours whilst you can at chrisslicks.co.uk. We really have took our time on this to make sure not only the fit is perfect, but the quality of the materials matches those of hoodies 3 or 4 times more. Make sure you're fast, because once these are gone, they're gone and they won't be coming back. On top of that, anyone who orders within the first week of this video going live has got a chance of winning some signed Slicks memorabilia. So from projects of the past, we've got a bunch of little mementos that we want you guys to have, and we're going to select you at random from whoever orders within the first 7 days. We're going to ship these worldwide, so go and get yours from chrisslicks.co.uk or using the link in the description. And remember, every penny that we generate from these goes back into projects like this for you to watch. Thanks, guys.
So whilst we're waiting for those new parts to come in, we may as well move our attention to other parts of the car that need repairing. First thing on our list is this charging port. This is where you plug the car into the wall to charge up the hybrid battery.
Now, we have managed to pick up a replacement for this. It is from a G60, so a non M5, but it appears to be identical. Now the only problem is it's come complete like this, which means to get this plugged in, oh excuse me, means going all the way up there, right around the engine and everything, and it's going to be so fiddly. Now there isn't actually a plug on the outside of it. If we take these out, that there is in fact inside some sort of plug like that. What we're hoping we can do, because our cable on the car is actually intact, but it's just this casing bit that's damaged and this section, we've essentially got to unpin this plug, pull that through, swap this over to the one on the car, and then we can fit this, and that will be the first part for the hybrid system fixed on this car, if it works.
Now before even touching this, we wanted to make sure the hybrid system is definitely off, because if I get zapped by this, I will be melted to the floor. Luckily it is, so we can crack straight on with stripping off everything we need from the old one and the new one to build up one complete one that we can attach to the car without having to take the engine out in order to run the wiring. And once I've got it repinned into the plug, we can then bolt it back to the car and just pray that it works when we go to start it.
Next up, we need to take a look at this rear diff.
Because the bottom casing section from this had took a wallop in the crash. It's broken and bent loads of the fins and could also potentially be damaged inside.
Let's hope we don't find chunks of metal.
Uh-oh. Okay, I hadn't said that.
3, 2, 1.
And we were worried we might have to replace the full diff in order to repair it. Thankfully, that's not the case. We've managed to pick up just the bottom casing from BMW for about £200, but all we've got to hope is when we take this casing off, there's no damage inside it.
Lovely. No bits in there, Captain. And this is the first bit of good news we've had on the rebuild of this car.
So now we can prep the surface to make sure it's clean and the new one is going to seal properly. We can apply the sealant to the new casing and then bolt that up to the diff. Then we can get all those bolts torqued to spec, get it filled up with diff oil and cross it off our list.
I've got a terrible joke.
Go on.
That made a real difference. Now, bits like the rear diff cover we want to buy from BMW, so they're new, so they're fresh, ready to go on. But there's some bits I don't want to buy from there because it will cost a fortune. And one of the main bits is the rad pack. And thankfully, I have struck gold
by finding a complete front rad pack, crash bar and slam panel, everything that we need, and we can almost bolt this straight up to the car. What a result.
That is going to save us a lot of time assembling it, figuring out where stuff goes. It's going to make our lives a hell of a lot easier.
And the first thing we're going to do is offer it straight up to the car and connect things just before we push it into place to make accessing it a little bit easier.
It's alright, isn't it?
Oh mate, buzzing. Look at that. She don't look so scary now, does she?
No. I'm so glad you bought that in one hit.
I'm glad I found it.
After the little disappointment with the sump, this kind of evens stuff out.
Yeah, it does. It makes me feel a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, me too.
Now, there's two reasons why we're happy to see this on. Firstly, look at it. Secondly, it slid straight into place. And Mickey, what does that mean?
Progress.
No, think chassis legs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. No bent chassis legs.
Yes, sir. Which is amazing. We've had a bit of bad luck, not only on this car, but on quite a few in a row now. And to be able to slot this straight in place. Relief.
But now all of that's in place, we can start to connect up all of the 8 radiators on the front of this car. There's a gearbox cooler, some for the charge coolers, the normal radiator for the engine coolant, the aircon. It almost seems ridiculous how many there are. But thankfully, we had all of the pipework still on the car to be able to connect it all. It's going together like a dream.
You having a good time down here, Mickey?
I'm having a great time, especially when everything's just, you know when you put something in place and it's like, oh, that goes, oh,
Yeah. Oh,
hello.
yeah, hello. And then, oh, what's this one? Hello!
Lovely. Oh,
Are you having a moment?
that is satisfaction.
It was a long job getting all of the wiring and the pipework routed correctly, but because we took our time doing it, we're confident when we fill this up with coolant, it shouldn't leak.
Now, we have figured out with this that it is from a left-hand drive car. Now, there is basically no differences apart from one. It is just to do with the bonnet cable here, and the fact they're pointing that way, and our handle is on that side.
It is.
Yeah, so what we're thinking is, we don't need any different parts, we can literally just take them out and turn it around, and it should work. Booyakasha.
Beautiful.
Getting this on in one lump really saved us a lot of time and money, but now we've got everything hooked up, we can tap the crash bar into the chassis legs and then start to bolt it into place.
And now it's time to test if all our hard work has paid off.
Let's pressure test the coolant system and see if it's air and water tight.
I don't think we've ever put coolant in a car and not had a leak, so let's leave this for 5 minutes.
Yep, I'm done with that.
And then, if it's okay, we can fill her up. In the meantime, let's find a cap for the other one.
Yes.
Okay, 10 minutes later, and that is looking
Exactly the same as I left it.
exactly. So that means I can do this.
Some pumping.
There we go. And because for the first time, and as long as I can remember, that's worked, we're going to try and vacuum fill it. So I can hook this onto there. We've got the airline already on this bit. And of course, we are using only the finest products. Fuchs, who I believe are actually the OEM supplier for BMW, don't quote me on that. We can try now and pull a vacuum on this system. And what that's going to do is pull all the air out of the coolant system and then replace it with water in like a shock way. If it's going to work. We don't have much success with this either, so let's try it.
And straight away the gauge starts going up, which is a great sign. This means that we're starting to pull a vacuum on the system and removing the air, and when we flick the switch on the bleed device, all of that air we've removed should then be replaced by water.
Okay, we officially have vacuum.
Excellent effort.
Should we show it?
Yeah, go on.
Because what's happened now is all of the big pipes on this system should go. It's really hard to show you, but it's literally collapsed. Which is perfect.
First time I've seen that.
Same. We've never had this work, ever. Now, all I should have to do, I believe, is turn that. Reposition that so it doesn't pull in loads of air. And the moment I do this, we should get loads and loads of coolant flowing through here. Bomb. But she's drinking. She's drinking good.
I take it when that goes all the way down, or maybe.
It may or may not be.
Although this wasn't a quick process, it was nice to know that we were doing it the correct way. This is going to make our life so much easier when it comes to starting this car up for the first time.
Right, I've done 3 fills, and now is the moment of truth. Normally you've got a clear expansion tank which lets you know when it's full, but this car hasn't got that, and it makes it a lot harder to tell. But I think we've got about 8 litres in there, which seems like about right to me. Is it full?
Bro,
Is it?
look.
Oh yeah, perfect. On the money.
Mate, that is definitely.
High five everyone at home.
That's pretty good, that machine, when it works.
Well,
No,
I think the problem isn't the kit.
it's us.
It is us.
Now a job we've been putting off is trying to get off these wheels, which sounds ridiculous, but we haven't got the locking wheel nut for this car. Thankfully, Carl got in touch with us via Instagram and said that he has the tools to get them off.
Yeah.
You made that look easy.
Success.
That's what we need.
He's come out of retirement just for this.
Got yourself 3 new M5 wheels, mate. Well done.
That is a bit of kit mile, mate.
There you go.
See them on Facebook Marketplace in a week.
Yeah.
Even though we've had some setbacks, the car is looking so much better already. The rad packs are on, it's got coolant in it. We managed to get the locking wheel nuts off, and we're ready to fit the upper sump when it comes in.
We had some little bits to tidy up and repair.
But there are still some more parts of this car which to repair might get expensive.
Headlights. Now, the ones that came on the car, the driver's side is knackered, done for, never repairable. The passenger side, even though it looks okay, it sounds like a maraca. Not only has it got a couple of broken brackets, but I think there's just something inside of it which is done for, even though the outside looks okay. So I think just to make sure that we're not going to have any issues with them, replacing them both is unfortunately the way to go, and these can be a super pricey part from BMW. I think in total they were over £4,000 for the pair.
Really?
Yeah. I have managed to find a much cheaper solution thanks to LLL Parts, who do loads of stuff for kind of BMWs, VAG group cars, all sorts of stuff, and can not only get you parts sometimes that the main dealer can't get, but also can help you on the price too. So not only are they cheaper, but I can save you money on top of what you're already saving. Brilliant. Yeah, a brand new headlights. Woo! It's upside down.
Oh, nice.
Well, that definitely looks better than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Only downside to this
Go on.
is that brand new headlights don't come with the control modules.
Is it called ballast?
The ballasts.
Ballast.
Correct. Because we managed to recoup the original headlight, well, both headlights, we have one, and I can't believe I look when I'm coming to say this, but I don't want to count it too early, but two, this one still seems to be intact.
How has that not got hit?
I don't know. So let's get these ballasts off here, put them onto the new headlights, and then we've got to try them. I don't know if they're going to need coding. You'd hope because we're taking the original ballast they don't, but you don't know until you try it because headlights are a weird thing. So let's get to work.
I can get to removing the ballasts off the old headlights. I'm feeling hopeful because they're still original that they won't need coding to the car, but we just never know. But once we've got them both off, we can get them installed onto the new ones, and then it's time to try them on the car. But before we can plug the passenger side in, there is a wiring repair to do because some of the wires have split, but thankfully can be rejoined. Now that that's repaired, we can now install the passenger side as well and take a look at how evil this is looking now this BMW has got its eyeballs back.
Are you ready? Okay, that's doing nothing. Headlights can be a funny thing, and even when you think they're going to work, doesn't necessarily mean they work. Right, we've definitely got power because everything inside has come alive. Look at all the funky lights. When the car's off, it looks fairly bland in here. As soon as you get everything powered up, it just looks so cool. Still not a bean off this key. Has this done anything yet?
No, what? No.
We don't know.
No.
Yeah, who knows? Right, let's try the buttons in the car.
Oh, yes!
It's saying dip beams on.
Oh, yes, brother, that looks cool.
Yeah, 1, 2, both working.
I think it hasn't.
Okay.
So that is the headlights now working, which also brought all the other lights on the car to life. What a relief. We can get that crossed off our list and move on to the next part.
Yeah. They look sweet.
You just show the guys at home what happens when you put the hazards in.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's super cool. So, let me just...
You see how everything's blue inside, and then as soon as you press the hazards, bosh, red.
How cool is that? Oh, on works. We put that on.
We did, yeah.
So,
Success. What a relief. That's one stress avoided. So we've done everything we can for now at the front of the car. We're just waiting on parts. Next job, got to deal with this interior, haven't we?
looks like fun.
Now, we can replace some bits, but we need to repair or reset others. So, steering wheel airbag needs to be replaced. Dashboard needs to be replaced. Curtain airbags can be reset and seat belts can be reset. But to get to all this stuff, we've got to strip it apart. Let's go!
And we're going to kick things off with the curtain airbags. In order to gain access to these, we've got to get the headliner down. And to do that, we need to remove all of the trims which hold it in place. So the grab handles, the sun visors, the overhead control panel, all of these hide screws or clips which hold the headlining in place. Once we've got all of these out, we can drop the headliner down, and then that gives us access to the curtain airbags, which have awkward clips which take a bit of fighting to remove, but once those are out, we can unplug the airbag plug, and the curtain airbags are removed.
This is not fun.
But we're nowhere near done with this interior yet. Deep down in the depths of this, underneath the center console, hides the airbag ECU. This stores the crash data, and without replacing or resetting that, there will always be crash data and an airbag light stored on this car.
Clippy there.
That's the one.
Nice work.
But whilst the seat's out, this seems like the perfect time to remove the one seatbelt which was triggered on the driver's side. With the seatbelt now removed, we can get that sent off to be reset. And whilst we're here, we may as well get the steering wheel airbag out as well.
Yeah.
But now we want to dig deeper and get this center console out in order to unearth that airbag ECU. This is essential to do because if we don't, it could also re-trigger the crash data on the hybrid battery when we try and start this car up.
And now we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. Seatbelts out, off to be reset. Steering wheel airbags out to be replaced. Curtain airbags are out. And finally, the airbag ECU is exposed. So I can push. How does this one work? Like that. There she is.
Oh, nice.
Out she comes. Now, give me my fluff, man. Stop stealing it. There we go. I believe that is an airbag ECU. I hope it is, otherwise we've got some more digging to do. Let's send that to be reset.
That is everything bar one part removed from the interior which we need to get out. Unfortunately, most of this won't be able to go back together until we get some of these parts back, but I'm sure it won't take too long. But there is still one part which we need to deal with.
Time for what a lot of people consider the worst job on an interior. The dashboard. Now, we're hoping that this won't be as bad as we think, because we think we've hacked the system and we've kind of come to the conclusion that these manufacturers are starting to think about how people have to repair these cars and trying to make their lives a little bit easier.
Do you think for themselves?
Possibly.
We think we can remove the dashboard without having to remove the lower dash. It looks as if BMW have assembled this in a way to make this possible, which makes the job a lot quicker. Naturally, because this sort of repair hasn't been documented before, we did still have some figuring out to do, but managed to get it out in good time.
There we have it, dashboard out in 47 minutes. The biggest pain in that was figuring out how to get the screen out. So I think if we were to do that job again, from a complete interior, we could have that dashboard out in what, 20 minutes?
I mean, new car. Nobody's worked.
Yeah.
It's a lot of figuring.
We've got one or two bits to swap over from this one into this one. We've already detached this here, so that should, if I get this one out, there we go.
Like a dream come true.
And then we can get this one in.
So with our new dashboard skin going in place with a new airbag, this should go in like a dream. But already we've got our seatbelt back, we've also got our curtain airbags back, so as soon as this is in, we can get those fitted too. How good is that looking? It looks like a brand new car again. Well, at least it will do once we get the rest of the interior back in. But now we've got those curtain airbags and seatbelts back, we can smash those in place as well. And this interior really is coming together. Which also means we can reinstall the headliner and a bunch of the other trims, leaving just the airbag ECU, center console and seat waiting to go in. Now those bits are going to take a little bit longer to come back, but in the meantime, some of the other parts we've been waiting for have now arrived.
New sump has arrived, and we've got a little tactic for this. We've got all of the old bolts in the old sump, and as we fit all of our new bolts, we're going to take the equivalent bolts out of the old sump until there is no bolts left, and that's how we know we've got them all in, because there is quite a few and it is quite complicated. So let's see how this goes. Let's get this one on, and hopefully soon we might have some oil in this thing.
The new upper sump came with a gasket, so there's no need to apply any sealant to this. We can push it up into place and get each of the bolts torqued to spec. Now that that's fitted, the next piece to go back on is the oil pump.
Only thing we're going to do with the oil pump is put a tiny bit of thread lock on the end of the bolts just to make sure they don't rattle loose, basically, because if they do, it is game over. Let's get this fitted.
Now the oil pump isn't a timed piece. This means it doesn't particularly matter how that cog's positioned as long as it's tight and even on the chain.
I've been attacked. Why do you do this to me?
So as soon as we've got that in place, we can put the bolts in with the thread lock to make sure they don't come out, and then it's on to the next part.
And this part, which was on back order from BMW, we managed to get brand new from Europe from an eBay seller, so that's the result. Just going to use a tiny bit of red grease just to lubricate the seal and get that on as well.
Do you know what? I feel better now this is going all on, because that being exposed.
Scary.
Oh, it is scary, mate. Even just talking them bolts up, scary.
Now some of these parts have been on back order with BMW, which means they can't give us a date when they're going to get them. But thankfully, because this engine shares parts with other BMW models, we can use parts from other cars to make it work. Which, to be honest, has really been a lifesaver trying to get this car back together. But now the plastic lower sump is on, we can start reassembling everything else, so we can get the diff back on, the drive shafts back in, and this is starting to come together. And to seal up the oil system, we can now fit our new oil cooler pipes, which were previously damaged by the engine mounts breaking. We can then connect these to the oil cooler, and now this engine should be oil tight. And that means we can now fit up our new subframe, so it's on with the new engine mounts, which we tried to fit at the start of the video, and then we can push the subframe up and get it bolted in.
Now, one of the most powerful tools for working on this car when we get the systems back online is going to be OBD11. OBD11 offers full dealership level diagnostics for BMW, Mini, the entirety of the VAG group, Toyota, Lexus, Ford in the USA, and now they have secured the big one. They have the triad because we can add Mercedes to that list, which means now with OBD11's third generation device, you can get full dealership level diagnostics on Mercedes as well as their one-touch applications. So now on my Mercedes AMG GT, we can plug in our third generation device into the car's OBD2 port and scan it for fault codes. Now this car has been super reliable, and you can see it has 0. But what we can also do is customize some of the features and settings. So right now I'm going to turn on the Scandinavian DRLs, so when the front DRLs are on, the back lights are on too. I can adjust things like the startup display and also set it so the oil level automatically displays on the dashboard, which is super helpful. But there is loads of additional features on all of these cars, so you can adjust it to your preference. But OBD11 also offers basic diagnostics for any car fitted with an OBD2 port. So take control of your car, get full dealership level diagnostics, and be able to activate features that you never had that the dealer possibly would have charged you hundreds or maybe even thousands before. And to celebrate the launch of Mercedes, OBD11 are offering you extra money off as well. So until the 30th of April, you're going to get 20% off all of their third generation packages, plus using discount code SLICKS is going to save you another 5% on top of that. So that's a total of 25% off. So make sure to go and grab yours now using the link in the description and code SLICKS. Thank you OBD11 for sponsoring this video and launching the new Mercedes software. But let's get back on with the M5. And the subframe is back on new engine mounts, and that feels like a relief to get that back on. But we're nowhere near done yet. Mechanically, we're getting close, but there's still a lot of electrical gremlins to go through, especially that massive hybrid battery underneath.
Not looking forward to that.
Ready to fit some suspension?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Now this corner of suspension was completely wiped out in the accident, but thankfully it didn't damage the chassis leg, the inner wing, or anything else to help us mount it. So I've been out and bought every single arm and the shock second hand, and we should just be able to bolt all of this in, and it should be perfect. Once that's all fitted up, we can fit a brand new brake disc shield and the original brake disc, and this corner's really coming together.
Next up is body part. Actually, first thing I'd like to say,
Feeling that.
thank you everyone for
Yep.
500,000 subscribers. Bunch of legends. But yes, next thing, body panels. And we have got a bunch here. They have already been to the body shop. We've already got them painted to match the car. So we haven't got to send the car to the body shop at all, which is going to help us with getting the car done in this video. So, front bumper is here. Bonnet is here. We've got a pair of wings hiding somewhere else.
Right there behind you.
Oh yeah, there they are. And also, the biggest ball ache, doors. We've got 2 out of 3 here, the other one is on its way, but they're already painted and ready to go. Now, because they're completely bare, we need to build them up.
That is a job for me, isn't it?
That is, mate. Whilst I work on the wiring on the car, Mickey is going to start building up the doors. He's going to take the back right one off first, hang the new one completely bare, and then start building up. Going to be a fun task. I wish you the best of luck.
Nice.
Replacing these damaged doors with second-hand ones seemed like the best solution, because some of them have got holes in, nasty dents, and could be misshapen, meaning that even if we do get them repaired, they may not line up perfectly. So Mickey can get the old door removed.
Nice t-shirt you got on there, mate.
Check her out.
Where can you get it?
From chrisslicks.co.uk.
Nice work.
First things first, let's get this panel off because I want to put the check strap on the new door. We're going to hang the new door so it can't get scratched or damaged.
Okay.
Doing it this way is definitely the safest option. We don't want to risk damaging the new door or its fresh paint, so taking the old one off and then swapping everything over with the door hung is definitely the best way of going about it.
One down, one to go.
The front doors though are a different story. Because it's so tight to the ramp, we decided to do these off the car and we can fit this one up later.
And now that one's all done, we can get the bonnet off.
3, 2, 1. Oi. What's going on here?
Oh, you've got to dodge your hinge.
There you go.
But we can't just bolt a new one straight on. There's 2 parts we need to change here. Firstly, the bonnet hinges.
Because the original ones were bent in the crash, they'll never line up with the new bonnet.
And secondly, these kind of pedestrian safety airbag things. When a car's involved in a crash, these deploy, which pushes the back of the bonnet up, making it safer for the pedestrian you might have run over. Now we have all of those parts replaced and lined up vaguely with the old paint marks from the old ones, we can try and test fit this new bonnet. Hopefully, it lines up alright.
Just out of curiosity.
I don't care about it.
I ain't looking too shabby, is it?
Bear in mind,
I think it wants to go back a bit, or the front of the headlight wants to come out a bit. It needs some tweaking, but for now, it's alright.
But there is one job that I've been putting off on this car since we got it. Because this car is not only powered by a twin-turbo V8, it also has a 360 volt DC hybrid battery with enough power to vaporise me.
It's time. We've got to tackle a bit of this job that we are looking forward to the least, and what is potentially going to be a problem for everyone who rebuilds cars that are newer than this in the future, the hybrid system. We've got to get this battery back online for this car to start, and something I've never done before, and I'm not looking forward to it. But before we can get access to that battery, there's a lot of stuff we need to strip off underneath.
And I can only put off doing this job for so long. There's going to be so many parts of this car that need coding, resetting, and without having this battery online, none of those systems will talk to each other. So we may as well get to work with stripping everything off from the underside to give us access to those batteries. So that means removing the exhaust, the heat shields, the front of the prop, and loads of other cover plates.
Right then, so we have now sort of got a bit more access to the battery. You can see some of the scary stuff going on here. And this here is a battery. And this here is also a battery. It's mahoosive and it's mounted right at the bottom of the car. And what it's connected by is this. So this is kind of like a bunch of wires that go over the prop and the exhaust and connect the two batteries together. Doesn't sound too crazy, but getting the prop out is not as straightforward as what we were first thinking, because it's got a huge locking nut, we believe, that holds it in place, and we haven't got a tool to get that off. And to be honest with you, I also don't want to risk breaking it.
Me either.
Could be expensive.
Very.
So what we're going to attempt to do, we don't know how possible it's going to be, but is to leave the prop just disconnected on this end and then try and drop the battery pack around it. The more I'm saying this, the more stupid it sounds, because I know how heavy those batteries are going to be. Yeah, let's see if this is going to work.
Before we can attempt that though, we've got to get everything disconnected that links the battery to the car. So this is cooled by the AC lines, so I can remove those, and also has a bunch of cables attaching it to wherever else it attaches it to.
I think it's time.
These batteries are going to weigh a lot.
So we can position a few tables underneath the car to take the weight of them, and then start removing the bolts. Our plan is to remove the majority of the bolts, but leave a few accessible ones still in there until we can get it dropped down. So we're taking out most of them, leaving a few, and that way it's going to make it easier when it's down low just to whiz the last few out, and hopefully we can jimmy the battery out of place.
Right, we've got one more bolt each side holding these batteries in place. We don't know how much they're going to weigh, but all we do know is this is not going to be easy.
Now that is a battery bolt.
I just had a thought, you know, because I'm using power tools, if it does try to electrocute me, all it will do is...
Rub handle.
No, just charge my battery.
Ah.
There you are.
Oh yes, that was good. Okay. Okay then. Wow.
Come on.
Oh yeah. That's movement.
Okay, and that side's free.
Excellent.
Does the ramp need to go up a bit?
Maybe. Let me try again.
Ooh.
Is it off the...
Whoa.
That would be the battery.
Oh yeah. M5 hybrid battery!
That's some battery, isn't it?
Go on, Mickey, I'll let you say the joke.
What joke? The German one?
No, not that one. Something about it being electrifying.
I don't really want to joke about stuff like that, mate, because that can be really dangerous.
It can. The consequences can be shocking.
Can you not buy another hybrid?
That'll be my preference, but in all fairness, in this fuel crisis at the moment, I feel like a hybrid's not such a bad thing.
Do you know what? I think you might know.
Well, that is a first for this channel. We have never worked on a hybrid before, and now have removed this massive hybrid battery from this almost brand new M5. It feels like an achievement, but we're trying to repair this on a budget, so we're not just going to throw a completely new battery unit in this, because that would cost us a fortune.
It's not over yet.
There is 1,010 mils to take.
There is, yeah. I'm kind of nervous to see what's inside.
Yeah, me too. You're lifting these off with the gloves, I'm not.
Okay. We've now got to go inside these battery units, and there is a total of 4 parts we need to change, which will hopefully get this car back online and then enable us to turn to the next part of the project and push even further forward with it and get that one step closer to getting this on the road. Look at all these. That's one side, that's the other.
No, we know how it weighs so much.
Yeah.
10 mils.
Right.
Yeah, you can, I ain't touching it. Put your gloves on.
I will risk it for the channel.
Yeah.
I will take that risk.
Are you nervous, Chris?
No, because I've got my safety dobbers.
Righto.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stand right over here.
Yeah, you'll be fine. What's it look like? Oh yeah. It just looks like a laptop.
Ooh, computer.
That is something. Okay, now this looks terrifying because it is a little bit, but we have 3 normal pyro fuses in here. One here, and one just here. If you just change those, your car will not be fixed. The reason why that won't fix it is because there is a sneaky hidden pyro fuse in this. If you just change those ones, then put it back together, do you know what that's going to do?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And if you change the airbag ECU without changing this...
So, if you didn't change that and change the pyros, that would automatically trigger them again?
Correct. And also, it would automatically trigger your airbag ECU.
Oh.
So, you're basically back at square one and you've got to spend all that money again. So what we're going to do is disconnect all of them, then put this in first. Then put that in, then put that in, I think. Uno. This looks really expensive. It was 200 quid brand new.
Oh, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad, is it?
So, there's 2 pyro,
Two in that one, yeah.
In that one.
And then one just there.
Yep.
I think what they're doing with this is a little bit cheeky because it's a whole control module and not a serviceable pyro.
So it can't be reset like the airbag box.
Can't be reset, and it is just a pyro inside that goes, not... And then the rest of the module's fine, but because the pyro's in it, it says contains pyrotechnic, you've got to buy the whole control module, which then also has to be coded to the car, which then also updates every single other module on the car. Sort of stupid, you could just have a fuse like those ones, couldn't you? Well, I'm nervous now. We best to disconnect it first? Maybe.
So, this is to pull Chris away in case he starts doing a dance. I shall grab him like that.
There's one. There's 2.
I'll be grabbing something that goes bang.
As carefully as possible, we can start to dismantle these parts of the battery. Thankfully, it does seem like they're serviceable, so we should, if we get this right, be able to get this back online without having to spend tens of thousands of pounds on a complete replacement.
Do you wear rubber at the weekend?
Try and avoid it, but you know, sometimes you gotta.
Oh yeah.
Money! Money! Mosh. Old one?
Now worth 13p. Nice work.
Thank you.
But now all of these have been replaced, it's time to connect the last wire. There we go, everything that contains a pyro fuse has now been replaced. This means that in theory, this battery should now work. All that's left to do is replace the cover plates on the top, making sure that the seals are tight. And then we can start to very carefully refit it to the car. We're even more worried this time because those pyros have been replaced. This battery, in theory, should be live.
So now the hybrid battery should be back online and should be fault free with that new module on there. It's not coded to the car, so it doesn't mean it will start, but what it does mean is we can finish off on the interior, get the new airbag ECU in, which isn't going to trigger any faults on the hybrid system, and we can get our centre console and seat back in, leaving just the driver's steering wheel airbag to fit. That'll be a result. So Finn, all we've got to do now is plug in the airbag ECU, and then we can just put the centre console in, and then once the centre console's in, you're not listening. Centre console is back in and not a single bolt left over, so I have full confidence that's going to be solid. And on the dashboard, we now only have 19 control messages, which is still quite a few, isn't it, Mickey?
I think there was gazillion before though.
Quite possibly, yeah. The numbers didn't go that high on the screen, but
No.
we're definitely getting there. Look at that, we're just giving it a quick hoover out. I think we're ready for a seat. There we have the interior back together, and it is looking phenomenal. The only thing we're missing is the steering wheel airbag. So as soon as that arrives, we can get that fitted, and the interior is officially done. And that will take literally less than a minute. So we're just waiting on that. But now we need to start thinking about what we're going to need to do to get this car, or attempt to start this car. And the first thing you need to do when you try and start this car is put your foot on the brake pedal and press the start button. In order for it to engage that start procedure, it needs brake pressure. And at the moment, we are not going to get brake pressure from a leaking line.
So in order to fix that, all we've got to do is refit the caliper that we sent off to have the piston put back in, and we should be good to go.
So next up, we need to bleed the brake. And to do this, I've picked up a new tool off TikTok shop because I'm a sucker like that sometimes, and I really want to try it out, so we're gonna. It's basically all of these individual spanners which then seal to the bleed nipple, and then you put a one-way valve and waste pipe on the top, and that paired with the pressure oh, I can't even talk. With this should make bleeding these brakes a doddle if it all goes well. It may still be a pain because of the ABS system, and we might need to do a full ABS bleed with the computer, but I'm happy to try this first.
Firstly, I can top up the brake fluid reservoir. Secondly, I'm going to fill our pressure bleeder with brake fluid as well. Then we can attach that via the brake fluid cap and then pump it to get pressure.
That's good right arm you got there, sir.
Thanks, I've been practicing. So that goes onto here. Now this should be sealed because it's got an O-ring inside this spanner. So now when I go that way and put that into there, it's got a one-way valve, so it shouldn't pull any air back in no matter what.
That looks like a cool little tool actually.
Hopefully it does its job. I'm going to say for now, that's brakes bled. We're going to go around the rest of them and just make sure we flush through all the old fluid so everything is the same and it's not mixing old and new. And we're one step closer to starting this. Let's just double check that. We've gone around all the rest of them now. And we should have, yeah, a brake pedal. Crazy. Right, next step really then, Michael, I suppose, is try and get on the floor.
Yes.
Now, for that, we have got one problem. We're missing a wheel.
Well, we're not. It's just looks like a 50p.
That's true. Luckily, one of my friends has one of these cars and has changed his wheels. So, he has very kindly said he will lend us a wheel to put it on the floor. Not to do too much mileage because they are perfect, but for now, we'll lend us a wheel so we can get it off the ramp for the first time ever.
I'm excited.
Me too. I've got to take a quick trip now and go and get that. And whilst I'm doing that, I suppose there's nothing stopping us now looking at paneling this up.
No, there
So
isn't.
if we set up a time lapse,
Yeah.
then you can get cracking.
I will get cracking.
So I'll go do that. You do that.
While Chris goes to get the spare wheel for the M5, I start panelling the car up. And unlike the Chinese body kits we've been fitting, the OEM panels are fitting really nice.
I've literally been gone for less than an hour. Sorry. What have you done?
You said panel it up.
I did. I didn't mean finish the old car.
Oh. Sorry about that one. Take a look at this.
And now the car is looking so much better. I can't believe how quickly those panels went on. But there is still one thing that needs sorting. The car's windscreen was smashed by the airbag. So we've got a new one from BMW, which we can get put into place, and that should really complete the front end of the car. But I really want to see this thing on the floor, so we can put our 3 original wheels on, and also the one that we've borrowed, and start to lower it down for the first time.
Mickey? Yeah. This is officially the first time this car has been on all 4 wheels since we've owned it.
Lovely.
She is down.
Ta-da!
Look at that.
That is a proper
Beast. So we're at the point now where everything that we've got is on.
We've done all the wiring repairs we can, put all the parts on that we can get for this at the moment, and we want to hear this start. But we all know with hybrid systems, doing that ain't easy, and that's why we need someone with a special set of skills. Someone that can turn a paperclip into a flying eagle.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
It's
good.
been a while, and I'm glad to have you back.
Yes.
And you'll be glad to hear that this is going to be a nightmare.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But I'm hoping.
Hybrids are always a nightmare.
Exactly. But I'm hoping because it's not a supercar, it's a normal, everyday 5 Series,
No, it's not.
that this might not be as bad.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's hope, because let's give some hope to people in the future who want to fix these,
Yeah. Gosh.
i.e. you.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, let's see what magic we can work.
Yes.
What's first step? Is it plug in?
First thing we'll do, plug in. We'll get Kyle online as well, and we'll see if we can get the new BMS coded in. Not BMS, HV BMS. Get that coded in, and then we'll see what other fault codes come up. And then I just want to run through all the wiring sides of it and just make sure everything's connected. And then we'll check all the voltages at all the batteries and stuff as well.
Okay.
And then we'll see what goes from there.
Okay.
Let's do this.
That's Kyle at Define Coding, by the way. Shouts out to Define Coding. We love Define Coding. Kyle's a nice man. Yeah, let's get started. I'm sure it's not going to be as easy as what we think, but I'm hoping, with a bit of luck, we'll get this started today.
We do need to get a door on it though.
We do, yeah.
We'll sort that, don't worry. So now we've done everything we can to try and get this car started. We need a computer whiz, which is where Dips and Kyle come into play. So Dips can hop into the car whilst we fill it up with oil and get connected. We're all praying that this is gonna work.
So, paradise is not as it seems. There is an issue with the charge control unit, which is the ECU that manages the input of the 48 volt and the hybrid system, which allows you to charge it. So without that, I don't think it's going to allow you to start it, and I don't think it has enough voltage. But I've just tried to flash it for you, and it won't accept the main software file, but the high voltage system has been coded. So we're halfway there. It's just getting this resolved. So let me scan the errors out. I'll send you what I have for that, and then we can have a quick look at seeing if we can sort the other bits and pieces for you.
Okay.
The only thing I can think to do with charging that we did is the actual main charge port for where you plug the plug in.
Yeah.
We had to de-pin that and then re-pin it into another piece.
Oh. And have you repinned it the right way?
I sent you quite a lot on WhatsApp.
Oh, have you?
Now, we spent a lot of time making sure we did all this stuff right, so to see a list as big as this is kind of surprising.
Oh, look, read more.
What is this?
Have you been to Asda?
What's this gobbledygook?
Oh, mate. So you want me to work through all of this now, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know these fault codes that you sent, are they the fault codes before you did the coding or after?
That's after.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, sweet.
Nice.
Cheers, man. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is going to be a nightmare.
I can see it.
Yep, me too.
See, this is why you shouldn't buy hybrids.
I agree.
I've come here to sort 2 hybrids out, and already, I've only started on 1 so far, and it's already been a headache.
Yeah.
So,
If this was petrol at this point,
it would have been running.
it'd been on.
Yeah.
And we'd have been
Up the pub.
Exactly.
Damn right.
So Dips did some more digging to see what the fault could be.
So we've got a pyro on there, pyro fuse on there, which is perfectly fine. Inside here will be a BMS.
Yep.
The BMS, because the battery voltage has dropped, the BMS will shut down completely. So what we've done some sketchy shit. So what we've done is we've taken the terminal off from here, and we've gone direct to there.
Which essentially bypasses the BMS, which has been shut down because the battery voltage has dropped. Whilst we were doing that, I did some more research into this battery, and it turns out it's not quite as it seems.
Which I've just been informed doesn't have a pyro, but it does have irritable bowel syndrome.
A BMS.
IBS.
IBS.
Intelligent battery system or something.
What's that about?
It might have crash data on it, but because the crash data was on the BMS, and you've replaced that BMS, and Kyle's coded that BMS, that might work.
So you think this might start?
No.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we've still not got a door on. The bonnet is not allowing us, because you know on old BMs, if you kept the door open, it would flick back out of gear. So it may not even allow us to start it.
We wanted to give ourselves the best shot of firing up this V8. We don't care about the hybrid system, we just want to hear those 8 cylinders roar, so we can put on that passenger door to make the car as happy as it can possibly be, and also plug in the bonnet latch that we forgot to connect.
So look, a couple of things that we need to just get sorted on this to 100% confirm that everything's connected, everything's as it should be, is we need that plug for that loom.
That's the bumper loom.
Bumper loom.
Yeah.
But obviously because we had that plug off, he couldn't do anything because there was no connection to it. Now we've got that on, he can then connect back up, and then we can try and do all the other alignments with everything and coding. So that should, fingers crossed, work on that side. Then it might start. I think...
Just keep pressing that button, it might work.
I don't think it will. The bit that I'm really confused at is why this remote's not working either. So it's saying start engine immediately and charge by driving for an extended period of time. I'm trying to start it.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying, BMW. We're trying.
Look, component protection.
Yeah, what are you trying to protect?
Hold vehicle key to steering column. Yeah. Remote detected.
It says vehicle start possible.
Yeah.
And then it's saying vehicle start not possible.
Because it's actually saying we've got 156 miles on fuel, and charge we've got 4 miles. So
yeah,
technically it should be ready. And it does say ready there.
It does say ready.
What we've done, the battery was sitting at 6 volts. After we've had it on and off, on and off, on and off. That 12 volt battery, starter battery, the relay had flicked over, so it shut it down. Just put a booster on the main battery, and I heard the 12 volt battery flick back to life.
So what the
small 12 volt.
small 12 volt which starts the car.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that this has fixed the problem or anything.
It just might have fixed a problem.
It might have just fixed a problem, yeah.
I wish it'd stop doing that, because I feel like
it gets you excited, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it should allow me to put it into gear.
Or at least into drive, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter which, but it should allow me to at least put it into gear.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter what we did, we couldn't get the car to communicate properly. There was something blocking us. And we feel like we've changed everything we needed to in order to be able to start this car. Mechanically, it is fine, it should drive, but something we've done is making this car not happy. And it all comes down to the electrics. And even though we managed to get some parts of the car coded, some parts would not accept it, and it was stopping this car from moving an inch. And I think we've finally figured out why.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good. That shopping list is big.
So we've just been on the phone with Kyle from Define Coding and plugged in again since we've managed to get sort of one of the systems back online. And basically there's component protection on so many bits of this car. So the radar has component protection, along with the new charging port that we fitted has the same. The ECU, airbag ECU, is still showing a fault, so it's still showing crash data, which is not good. The 12 volt battery in the back, that's got component protection.
All of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. Yeah. Oh, 1 minute, no. All of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. Yeah.
Which is wild, really, considering everything's plugged in apart from the bumper loom and a air compressor.
Yeah, but what he was saying is, he goes, with these new cars, what it tends to do is every module that is on the car, it's technically got a signature on it. So the minute we put in either a second-hand part or you put in something, even if it's brand new, he has to go onto BMW's system to authorize it for that part to be coded back to the car. He can't do any of that until he gets new parts, which means all of the parts that he's requested for you all have to be brand new, can't even be second-hand parts.
So basically you can't even recycle parts
Yeah,
anymore.
which is so stupid because it's wasting.
Crazy.
I have nothing more to say.
Me neither.
So what we weren't aware of at all is that anything basically electrical which goes on this car cannot be second-hand. If it's already had that signature put on it by BMW, that then renders it useless to go on any other car. It can't be returned to factory and then assigned to ours. We've got to buy a brand new part. So the radars, the charging port, the airbag ECU, even the small 12-volt battery that's used to start the car cannot be used from another one. It's all got to be bought brand new from BMW. And I think this is what the future of rebuilding cars is going to be like. Unfortunately, the manufacturers are blocking us from being able to buy second-hand parts and fit them to different vehicles. On top of that, once we buy the new parts from the manufacturer, we've then got to pay them again in order to code them to the car. This is starting to feel like a scam.
We've done everything we can. Not only have we made a huge difference on actually getting this car back on the road mechanically and visually, but we are now so much closer to actually getting this thing started. It's going to be a nightmare. We knew it was going to be awkward, but we never expected to not really be able to use second-hand parts for anything electrical.
Is that a theft protection thing, or is it just BMW filling their pockets with money?
All I can say is, mate, we've tried our best.
Mate, that was a valid effort.
And we've done flipping well. If you've enjoyed this video, and you've enjoyed the transformation on the M5 so far, and you're excited to see it start up, make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you next time.